There's a moment that rarely gets talked about. Your phone lights up. A message comes in. Hey, I'm so sorry. I'm going to have to cancel. And before you can stop yourself, before politeness kicks in, you feel it. Relief, not disappointment, not frustration. Relief. If that reaction feels familiar, this video is for you. Because the psychology of people who feel relieved when plans get cancelled has less to do with laziness or antisocial behavior, and much more to do with how they experience the world internally. Most people are taught that cancelled plans are a loss, a missed opportunity, a social failure, something to apologize for. So when relief shows up instead, it can feel confusing, even shameful. You might think, what's wrong with me? Why didn't I want this as much as I thought? Am I letting people down? But relief isn't a lack of care. It's a signal, and signals are worth listening to. For many people, the hardest part of plans isn't the event itself. It's the anticipation, the mental rehearsal, the social preparation, the subtle pressure to show up as a certain version of yourself. What will the energy be like? How long will it last? Will I have to explain myself? Will I be on the whole time? When plans get cancelled, all of that disappears at once. The future suddenly becomes open again. The mental load drops. Relief is the nervous system exhaling. People who feel relieved by cancelled plans are often deeply aware, even if unconsciously, of how limited their energy feels. Not just physical energy, but emotional and social energy. They know that every interaction costs something. Conversation requires attention. Presence requires effort. Being perceived requires regulation. So when a plan disappears, it's not about avoiding people. It's about reclaiming energy that was already allocated. The relief comes from regaining choice. There's another layer that rarely gets acknowledged. Some people don't just attend plans. They perform them. They adjust their tone. They soften their opinions. They monitor their expressions. They manage how they're received. This isn't manipulation. It's adaptation. But adaptation is tiring. So relief after a cancellation may mean you no longer have to manage yourself for others for a few hours. You get to return to being unobserved. Cancelled plans also restore a sense of control. Plans require commitment to a future version of yourself, a version you might not feel like being when the time arrives. People who feel relieved by cancellations often struggle with this gap. They agree while feeling okay, but when the moment approaches, their inner state has shifted. Fatigue appears, overstimulation accumulates, mood changes. A cancellation removes the need to override that internal reality. Relief comes from alignment, inner state matching outer obligation again. From the outside, this pattern can be misread as flakiness, as introversion taken too far, as lack of enthusiasm. But internally, it's often about sensitivity to environment, mood, expectations, and social dynamics. These individuals tend to notice subtle shifts. Noise levels, emotional tension, social undercurrents. What others filter out, they absorb. Relief is not avoidance, it's regulation. Relief is often followed by guilt. Should I feel bad? Does this make me a bad friend? Why am I happier alone right now? That guilt comes from social narratives, not from moral truth. We're taught that wanting less interaction is wrong, that enthusiasm equals virtue, that availability equals kindness. But honoring your limits isn't selfish, it's sustainable. Instead of judging the relief, you can study it. Ask gently, what about the plan felt heavy? The timing, the setting, the number of people, the expectation to stay longer than you wanted. Relief is feedback. It can guide you toward better designed connections, ones that feel nourishing instead of draining. Shorter plans, clear end times, more one-on-one moments, less performance, more presence. If you feel relieved when plans get cancelled, You're not broken. You're listening closely, maybe more closely than most, to your inner signals. And in a world that constantly asks us to push past ourselves, that quiet relief might be a form of self-respect. Sometimes the most honest response isn't excitement or disappointment, it's relief. And that, too, is part of being human. If this felt familiar and you appreciate content that explores the quieter sides of human psychology, consider subscribing to the channel. We focus on the patterns most people feel, but rarely say out loud.